I've mentioned several times over on Instagram is a way that we naturally divide our daily homeschool subjects. We have table subjects and we have couch subjects, and it's just kind of naturally become the way that we divide our days. As I've mentioned this, I've had several questions. What are you referring to? What does that mean? And as I've started to dig in a little bit more, I've realized that I'm not the only one doing this. There are lots of people that divide their homeschool days in this way, and it's really become a sweet spot for our family. So in this video, I'm going to dive into what this means for our family, what this looks like. So if that interests you, make sure you stick around. Hello, welcome to my familia homeschool. My name is Marissa. I live in Miami, Florida with my husband and my 3 daughters. We are a family that has decided to homeschool as a way that we will educate our girls. On this channel, I love talking about all things homeschool, all things mom life. So if that is something that interests you, make sure to stick around. Give us a thumbs up, subscribe so you can join us in the future. Like I mentioned, in this video, I'm going to dive into what I mean by table subjects and couch subjects, and what does that look like in our homeschool. Now I'm going to start this video with how we normally start our homeschool day. Our homeschool day usually starts at the table with our table subjects, and our table subjects are usually the subjects that my girls do individually, that they have a leveled curriculum or a curriculum that is specific to their abilities that they're using during that time. Usually those curriculums are something like language arts and math. I have a 4-year-old that is more or less a pre-K level, and I have a almost 7-year-old that is more or less in the 2nd grade. We know the grades are kind of here nor there, but just for understanding of where she's at, that's kind of where we're at with our levels. So obviously they're learning different things at their levels. So for my oldest, that includes things like spelling, vocabulary, language arts, math, handwriting, those kind of subjects are things that she does at the table. For my youngest, it's things like learning to read, learning her numbers, learning to write letters and numbers, those kind of things. Those are the things that we do at the table. Our table subjects are also probably our shorter part of our homeschool day. That takes, depending on my girls, for my youngest, it probably takes about 20 minutes. For my oldest, it could take 45 minutes to an hour. For my oldest, this also includes language arts in English and in Spanish because we are a bilingual family. So that's why it takes a little bit of a longer amount of time, but it's really something we enjoy. We enjoy going through the different curriculums. It really is that intentional one-on-one time that we get together. Once we're finished at the table, we move over to the couch. Now there can be some exceptions, of course. Sometimes my daughter's reading curriculum, I will bring her over to the couch to do that with her here. Sometimes it's a little bit more effective in this environment, and I will leave my older daughter working independently at the table because she can do more independently than my younger one can, obviously. But that's more or less what our routine looks like. Now we come over to the couch. Thankfully, the table is right beside the couch, so that helps with the whole dynamic. And our couch subjects include things that are more literature based. I love teaching anything that we want to learn with stories. I feel like it is a super effective way to learn. It is a super enjoyable way to learn. So that is what we are doing here on the couch. The subjects that I deem couch subjects, at least in this season of life, are history, science, Bible, and literature. The curriculums that we use for those subjects include more reading, listening, narrating, conversation, those type of things. So I have found that the best way to do that is here in the living room on our couch. For some of those, we do use more of a textbook, like with history, we're using Knotgrass, but even the Knotgrass history book is more story-based. So it really is perfect to just sit down on the couch. I have both of them, one on each side, and we read it together. Oftentimes there are books that will accompany those, so we'll read those here on the couch. With those curriculums, our history and science curriculums, there are aspects of those curriculums that do require writing, like workbook type things, for my oldest child. So with our Knotgrass history, there's a workbook that she does. With our science curriculum, there's a book where she writes down notes about the animal that we're learning about that day. But that's something that's really simple for her to do right beside me while I'm reading. She will sit in one of our chairs, she will pull up the coffee table, and she will do those exercises, those workbooks, different activities while I'm reading maybe one of our chapter books, one of our read alouds, something like that. With our Bible curriculum also, the curriculum that we're using for Bible. We read a chapter of the Bible together. She'll read a verse, I'll read a verse, and then she chooses one of those verses that most jumped out to her, and she will write that down. So that's something else that she's able to do while I am reading our read aloud. So we'll do our history curriculum or our science curriculum. We alternate days with those, and we will read our read aloud books that we're reading just for fun or with our book club, and that's what we do here on the couch. So, I mean, it's super simple. There's not a lot of science to it, but some people were wondering what that means when I say couch subjects and table subjects, and it is just something that has really naturally flowed and worked for our family, a really natural way that we have come to divide our days. And so I wanted to dive in a little bit more to what that looks like in our home. If you have any questions, make sure to leave them down in the comments and I will answer them as they come in. I hope this was helpful for you, your family, your homeschool. If so, don't forget to give us a thumbs up and subscribe so that you can join us in the future with My Familia Homeschool.